Bruce, you're the scriptwriter on this, and there's like 100 speaking parts. Not all of them are huge, but 100,
Nearly 50 significant and probably 15 major roles.
Yeah. How, as a scriptwriter, and going from the film now to the series, how do you keep all that straight? How do you do that as a writer?
Oh, it's easy. You just have multiple personality disorder. It comes quite naturally.
I was kind of afraid you're going to say that.
I mean, we joke about it, but I don't know. This is a skill I've acquired. This is actually my third screenplay, the first that'll actually be produced as a film. And I've been working on, the first one was 20 years ago, and I've done a lot of writing since then. I've written 6 nonfiction books. And I just finished my first novel, something I thought I could never do, so I surprised myself. I've learned it, all along the way, right? And trying to keep track of a lot of people. I have this big spreadsheet, literally I have all their names in the spreadsheet. That helps. But what really helps more than anything is, and I learned this on the first screenplay I wrote 20 years ago, is that the characters come alive. When you do character development, if you do it well, the characters really suddenly become real, right? And then it's easy to write the dialogue because the character, it's coming from the character, right? And it's almost like you're just listening to somebody because you know what they would say. And that's all requires that character development. But if you do that well and it clicks, then suddenly you're almost like just a stenographer just writing down what the characters are saying. So then it's just a matter of putting them in the scenes. So that's the challenge, is what needs to happen next. But with this story, in a lot of ways, it almost wrote itself, because the premise was that we take what you and Mike Valdez did over many, many years, over 20 years of filming these 10-minute videos of wrecks staged at high schools, and tell the bigger story, the story of what happens after the wreck. And what happens not only to the person that may go to prison for it, but what about all the families and how they deal with the pain and the agony of probably the greatest tragedy you can imagine. So that, I had no idea where it was going to go. But it clearly had to answer all these conflicts and dilemmas and situations that just arose naturally as part of the basic storyline. And so I didn't have to stop and think, well, okay, I need to create this scene and bring this character in because we haven't seen him before. I didn't worry about that. I just wrote it very naturally, organically, the way it needed to be written. And certainly the last third of the project, it literally, from my point of view, wrote itself, right? And then, and that was incredibly satisfying, because ultimately I was simply trying to fulfill the vision that you and I had from the beginning, which really was your idea, to tell the whole story and the impact the wreck has on a community.